the camera first. Let's see.
All right. Hello, hello. Is it showing up for everybody? Can you guys hear us well enough? We're running off of hotel Wi-Fi, so hopefully it'll be good enough. Let us know in the chat, I guess on YouTube and here. What do they say? How do I view the chat? Ah, there's the sound. I was muted in Discord.
Okay, and then, yep, good on YouTube. Thank you.
All right. Well, hello, everyone. So we're Apollo Automation. I'm Trevor.
And I'm Justin.
Yeah, usually we're live from Lexington, Kentucky, but today we are live from Las Vegas. We're here at CES to meet up with some people, Home Assistant and Homey, and some creators and things like that, and also show off some of our products as we, walk around. So for anybody, if this is your first time, Apollo's a hardware manufacturer located in Lexington, Kentucky. We're building devices for Home Assistant right now. We've got motion sensors, air quality sensors, plant sensors, and soon a temp sensor. We do these every month just to connect with the community and answer any questions or anything you guys have. So feel free to post in chat. Also an ornament sensor. Thanks, Brandon. He reminded us. Which that'd be a good place to start. I don't think it's on our agenda, but that as we're coming to end on the holidays, we do want to thank everybody on those ornaments. So we had a fun idea where we thought we would make the first smart home connected ornament that we could find, and posted it out there. Got quite a bit of traction, and we were able to donate all of the profits from those ornaments. We're over $3,500. So $3,500 US got donated to charities this winter.
The two local charities in the Lexington area. One was called Casa of Lexington, and the other was a toy chest.
Yeah. So very grateful for the help from the community on that, on being able to get some proceeds to charity. We'll be doing it again next year with a different design. So if there's design ideas for our holiday ornament, this year was a Christmas tree. It lit up and played some sounds. You could have it totally non-smart, as in it just had a button on the back to play, or connected to Home Assistant. I think we're going to try for a better battery next year. We used the kind of a unique battery, the CR123 rechargeable, because that's on our other sensors. But I think we're going to look to try to do a 9-volt or AA to make it a little more accessible to people. All right, what do we got on the agenda, Justin?
All right, so we already kind of hit on CES. We're excited. This is our first time out here. We're excited to meet everybody. We're also still trying to figure out the event. We're just really looking forward to all of the tech, not only in the home IoT area, but also with like EVs and just the home. I know Trevor, you said you were excited for to see the new LGs or the TVs, the OLEDs, and the new wall TVs. So also coming up, so we're kind of hitting the events hard. We're here all week for CES, and then I think we're home for about 3 days, and then we're going straight to LANWAR, which, if you haven't heard us talk about before, it's the gaming convention that's in Louisville. You bring BYOC, you bring your own computer and your chairs, and you hang out for 4 days and game. There are also console games, there are tournaments, there are board games, and other activities outside of gaming like poker. There's also Duct Tape Wars, and we're going to do our own tournament called Apollo Circuit Wars. So we don't want to give away what it's going to be because we don't want anybody to get a heads up. But we're going to be taking some things there and having the users there do something with Apollo stuff, and if you win, you get like a full dev kit. So looking forward to that. So if you're going to be in the Louisville area, go ahead and sign up. We'll be there. We'll have a booth set up, and you can meet us in person. Also, if you're in CES, shoot us a message. We're staying at Resorts World?
Yeah, Hilton. So
yeah, Hilton
close.
Resorts World, not too far from the convention center. So just give us a shout. We'll like to meet up, and hopefully we'll see you at LANWAR. Getting really excited for that.
Brendan said room number.
Yeah.
Not that much of a meetup.
Yeah. But yeah, looking forward to LANWAR. Actually, Brandon, our support guy's flying up from Texas to come hang out with us, so it'll be nice to kind of have the team there and see everybody. Freeman just jumped in. Good to see you, Freeman.
Hey, Freeman.
Haven't heard from you in a while. Hope everything's good down there. We also, real quick, we live in Kentucky, Lexington, Kentucky, and we just got hit with a huge snowstorm and ice storm. Trevor and I, actually, our flight got canceled, so we had to leave a day early and leave very early in the morning. So we feel bad that we left everybody back home in the snow and ice and sleet and rain. Sorry about that, but CES is only once a year, and we've already had lots of meetings and stuff planned.
Yeah, Ross is in here too. Hey, Ross.
Yeah, good to see you, Ross.
All right, what we got on the agenda?
All right, you want to talk more about Works with Home Assistant, or you want me?
Go ahead, that's all you.
Yeah, so if you've been on here before, we've been working with the Home Assistant team about getting on with their Works with Home Assistant, and excited to say that we have the contract signed, everything's ready to go. We just got to finalize everything, and we actually are going to be meeting with them, I think, on Thursday and Friday. The Thursday meetup is at the Rock House in the Venetian from 6 to 8. Paul has said that if you're out here, anybody can come to the Home Assistant meetup, so maybe we'll see you there. But here very soon, we should hopefully have an official announcement that Apollo Automation is going to be a partner with Home Assistant, and we'll have the actual Works with Home Assistant locally badge. So that's very exciting. Kind of continuation of that, but a little bit different. Trevor, you want to talk about Homey?
Yeah, so we've also been working towards integrating with Homey. For those who aren't familiar, Homey is another home automation platform like Home Assistant. It's not as it's not open source, and it's not as powerful, it seems, as Home Assistant, but Homey is a great middle ground for people looking to get away from Google Homes and Alexas and things like that, that want a really nice experience. So we think that's a great place. We've been working hard with a developer on building an app for the Homey environment, and just did some testing the other day, and it looks great, working really well. And yeah, should be able to, with our same hardware, no new hardware changes, no Homey specific devices and Home Assistant specific devices, be able to, hey, if you bought the Apollo sensors for Home Assistant and you want to try out Homey, great, you can use them, and vice versa as well. So we're really excited for that type of an integration, and should be hopefully within the month or so out there official for Homey users.
And what's really exciting is the LG bought I think pretty much bought most of them, about 80% or so. So they're actually going to be here at CES, and we're meeting up with the Homey guys, and they should actually, we're very excited, they should have our logo up on their CES booth here at the LG booth. So really excited. We'll get some pictures and send them out to everybody. Next is Temp 1.
Yeah, okay. So we had a great holiday season with the Ornament that we talked about, launching that. And also, there's been huge demand on our plant sensors, both the battery and the non-battery version. So really ramping those up. And then next we've got coming out is the temperature probe. So the Temp 1 is what we've denoted that one as. That is a small device. It'll be both battery or non-battery powered variants. It is, the original intention was to mount it on your refrigerator, and it's got a 1 meter long flat cable temperature probe that you can put inside of your freezer.
It's 3 feet in freedom units.
Yeah, you can put inside of your freezer, and then so say your power goes out or your freezer goes bad or something, it'll alert you to the temperature drop inside of there. So great for at home, great for deep freezes down in the basement that you don't check all the time, great for cabins or other properties that you might have where you don't visit that often. But then we really got expanded on that of, well, it's a waterproof long temperature probe that we can you can put it in your pool, your fish tank, your hot tub, your anything else that you would want to know the temperature of, to a great deal of accuracy. We had it through a long beta quite a few months ago, and we had a fantastic idea from one of our community members, to say, hey, why does this not also measure the temperature of my food, like a smart food probe? We liked the idea so much, we delayed the sensor for a few months while we worked on that functionality. So we've got that. So not only is it going to work for your fridge or freezer, there will also be a different probe that you can plug in. That'll be a stainless steel, food safe probe. And so that'll allow you to now monitor food in your oven, your steaks on the grill, any of that. You'll be able to monitor your food temperature back into Home Assistant, which is also pretty unique. I think that might be one of the first food temperature probes for Home Assistant.
I've seen some DIY, and I want to say I like very recently saw one maybe from like Sonoff or something.
Yeah.
But this will be one of the first. And we've also talked about if you're the first one to like cook a steak using Home Assistant with it, we'll send you a free one, or whatever meat alternative. If you cook something with it, we'll send and post about it. We'll send you
first one to post
sensor.
and showcase about it. Who's not a beta tester and already has one that
Yeah.
can cheat.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're really excited. That should be going live in the next, probably in the next couple weeks. We got a busy couple weeks, so it's hard to say, but we're really excited to get that out. We think that's gonna be really cool. There's so many possibilities of what you can measure with it. We're really excited to see. So yeah, stay tuned for that.
And then Radon.
Yeah, so with LANWAR coming up, Justin just talked about, it's a multi-day kind of gaming convention. Last year we went to it and were able to sponsor some events, and I used it kind of as a hackathon type of a thing where we would prototype a whole bunch of sensors, which is where Plant 1 came from and Temp 1. We're all both prototyped at LANWAR. It's a great place for me to kind of focus with no outside distractions. So this LANWAR, the focus is on the parking sensor. So that's we had that, quite far in development, PA1, and we had to put it on hold because we were trying to build 3 battery sensors at once: the parking, the temperature, and the plant. And so we really just wanted to focus on getting the plant out, then the temperature out, and then now the parking out. So I'll be visiting the parking sensor a whole lot during LANWAR, getting that refined and hopefully out into a beta here very soon. Let me check some of the questions. There's a couple coming in. So let's see.
There's mostly been talk about Homey or...
Yeah. Okay, so it's people just going back and forth talking. All
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, we love the discussions. So yeah, back to LANWAR. So parking is my number one goal because I owe that to everybody who was looking and waiting for that to come. And then next up is we have some radon sensors, like true radon sensors. They look like a can of Coke that I want to start trying to develop and integrate into Home Assistant as well to make a much cheaper, more affordable radon sensor. It's been highly requested across all of our forums. We have for people who don't know, we have a future product survey that asks for your input on future things. And so definitely looking to get that going.
And Brandon's usually good about posting the survey too. So
yeah. Brandon, there's not an ESP home library for this sensor that I've seen, but it is a UART sensor. So we'd be building our own library and looking at that. But I think we can do that. Ben said he's interested in the parking and radon. Yeah, exactly. We live in Kentucky, so there's lots of problems with radon there.
Yep.
You can there's some really cheap sensors that don't really measure radon very well. Or you can get like a super expensive multi-thousand home inspection radon that is very expensive. So yeah, we think it'll be a great option to continuously monitor radon. Very excited. We'll keep you updated on it and see what we can make of it.
All right. Yeah, I think we're good on questions there. So the next thing on the agenda is product and shipping boxes. So if you've ordered the sensor recently, you've probably noticed that it was coming in our new product box, which you've been very excited about. like initially we didn't plan on doing it, but then we were able to find a manufacturer and that was going to be very competitive. So if you have any feedback on the boxes, if you've received one lately, we're still hearing back from customers on how it. Are you gonna?
I was gonna show the hidden secret. There's an Easter egg on the box for anybody who's gotten a product recently.
So just if we want to hear your feedback on the boxes and just the look and feel, and then also how they survive shipping, or if they survive shipping, hopefully. Email me, I'll leak it.
Yeah, it's nice. We were able to find a great box supplier that was able to get us boxes at a really nice price, so we don't have to increase the cost. And it helps protect the sensors for one. It's a more clean look. We're also working on the shipping boxes, so that would be the box that arrives at your house that contains these, instead of doing the bubble bags. So looking to do a little more secure shipping because the postal services do everything they can to stomp on them and do what they can. Sometimes it seems.
Sometimes
it's a little extra protection.
Most of the time they're great, especially if they're listening.
I know. 99.99% of the time they're
just
great.
Don't ask Brandon in the comment. But yeah, but very excited for those. The shipping boxes, we're still waiting for the actual shipping boxes, but we'll be excited to hear feedback on those as well, and to kind of see how they survive the shipping process, especially internationally. But very, very excited.
Yeah, it's a fun update for us as smaller makers. You know, we came from the community as hobbyists and had a cool idea for the MSR, and then slowly have built up our workshop, which is our garage workshop, basement workshop.
Other part of the basement.
Yeah, it's definitely outgrowing the basements in the house.
Yes.
But yeah, it's been fun to get to product boxes. Is a cool kind of official feel. Getting, like we talked about, the Works with Home Assistant, which is pretty official, and that feels great to have as a company, and as well as starting to integrate with other ecosystems like Homey. So yeah, really excited for these.
And then next thing we have is talking about resin.
Yeah. Okay. So that was a great segue because as well as trying to make our products a little more general consumer friendly or a little more professional feeling, we have been exploring how do we better our cases. We currently use 3D printing, and that has massive benefits, allowing us to iterate quickly. We really like that when we get feedback from people that says like, hey, this mount is having a problem, it's too loose. We can quickly iterate on that within a day and have a new part ready that we can start printing to improve our designs. Same with ours, since we do all the manufacturing here in the US, or all the assembly. I shouldn't say all the manufacturing, the circuit boards are made overseas, but all the assembly in-house. It's crucial to us that when we can optimize the assembly process, we recently went through that with the Air1, thanks to a few of our community members giving us some good suggestions.
Yeah, Tim and
Larry, that we were able to reduce the assembly time on our Air1 by 50%, just through changing our case design and improving that. So we had been exploring how do we make our cases look a little more smooth, a little better finish, and we were looking at some small injection molding machines that would allow us to cut our own small molds and get into injection molding at a lower cost. But then we recently got some samples of resin printing that is really kind of blew us away and opened our eyes to saying, hey, we can maintain the flexibility of being able to rapidly change our designs for low cost with the ability to get a very high quality finish. And so we're still exploring that. We're waiting for a few more samples of a machine that we might purchase. So very excited about potentially moving to resin and getting a little bit cleaner case designs. Very excited on those. If anybody has experience with industrial resin printing or injection molding, we would love to hear and talk. We're definitely not experts, as we always say, in all of these fields. If there's any input, we would gladly take it.
Excited to learn more, for sure, especially from the community. Sudo was just saying that he actually, I guess, printed a new Air1, and his temperatures were actually better too, which is a nice benefit.
All right. Yeah, so Brandon posted a new blueprint, it looks like. The Air1 blueprint, about notifying on certain thresholds. And so this is to help you with building an automation, correct, Brandon? Yeah, I think so.
Of course, we're very community driven. So anything you have for any of our sensors, whether it be designs or blueprints or automations, please let us know. Share it in Showcase. It helps us, helps the community. We're a very small team trying to grow to get to be able to do more things. But we really appreciate the help.
Yeah. So Pseudo Random said that his Air1 temperatures dropped. That's awesome. We also have some. I'll call it some beta firmware. Yeah, that's the next one.
Yeah, the beta firmware is the next one.
Yeah, because Brandon was talking. So we have. It's scarier and scarier to make software updates for our devices as we grow, right? So in the early days of the MSR1, there was a couple hundred of them out there. And now that we've got many thousands of devices out, we have started a beta software program. And so the beta software program, we've got a channel here in Discord. We really encourage people to get in there. We really need some help with the beta program. And what that is, we've tested firmware internally. We think it looks great. And then we make a beta branch on it, and it allows you can easily switch to it from ESP Home and try out the newest features on our sensors. And then that helps kind of let us see some different use cases people have and get it into more hands before we push it out to everybody. And one of those things, Pseudo Random was talking about his temperature dropping. One of the big benefits on the Air1 is we've added in some sleep settings. And so what that does is it allows you, if you want, to essentially turn your Air1 off for, say, a minute, and then wake up and report the temperature, humidity, all of your particulates, everything like that, and then go back to sleep. And that is greatly, greatly, greatly improving the temperature accuracy on the Air1. One of the biggest contributors to the heat buildup is the ESP device constantly being connected to the Wi-Fi. That really burns a lot of power, and which is heat. So we really want to encourage people to try out our beta and give us some more feedback there and help us to make sure we have good deployments out to the general. And check out the Air1 has the battery. MSR has some improvements to database writes, and MTR has some improvements to the zone detection system, to preventing these some sticky zones that people have been seeing.
So Freeman, real quick, was asking, he's like, with resin printing, are we going to be able to do the post-processing efficiently enough to keep up with FDM printing?
Yeah. So FDM printing wise, we've got like 8 bamboo printers that are running very almost all the time. If we weren't investigating resin or injection molding right now, we would be buying more printers to help keep up. The resin printers that we're looking at are large. They're like a 23 by 15 build plate, which is significantly larger than our current build plates. And the cool thing with resin is, I'll start with FDM. So FDM is what everybody's used to on 3D printing. It lays a layer of plastic and goes back and forth. And so each additional case that you add to the build plate increases the build time because it's got to go over there and put the plastic down. With resin, so if your plate has, say, one Air1 on it, it's going to turn on the light to flash that one Air1, and then maybe say it takes an hour and a half to do the one Air1. If you can fit 30 Air1s on your build plate, your printing time is still an hour and a half, roughly. It doesn't scale out like FDM does in terms of the printing time. As long as the heights are the same, it can flash the entire build plates worth of devices at the same amount of time. So Freeman, to answer your question on that, on the printing speed side, we actually should get a benefit in printing speed. We'll be faster printing than with our FDM. Now, you're right, there is a cost with that after, because there's more post-processing to resin printing. With FDM and normal printers, we just pop it right off the build plate, hit it with a heat gun, make sure they all look good, and then we're ready to start assembling. But with that, we can, sorry, I lost track. With that, we can pick up some more time and use that on the post-processing, which is a cleaning and a drying essentially process. And so yeah, we're definitely looking to explore it. I think that will come out on the head side, but it's definitely worth it for the finish.
Yeah, the finish, the quality. As soon as we saw it right away, we were like, dang it, like we gotta make it happen. So
yeah,
very excited.
Let me miss some of these other questions.
Yeah, so there was a question about, looks like Seuss had it, about the Radon sensor. He was asked if it's going to be kind of like an all-in-one sensor, or but I told him it's probably, just because of the expense, it's probably going to be a standalone. But
yeah,
so
we're trying to explore that. I think it'll definitely have a standalone option, because some people just want the radon, and again, it is an expensive sensor, like the core sensor. So we would hate to have to make you to buy like an Air1 and then also add on a radon sensor just to make you measure radon. So yeah, it's so early. Like we don't even have the firmware working. We don't even have it working with a Dev1 board right now. Dev1 is our development board that we use to prototype all of our sensors. We, just like any other development board. So yeah, we'll see. I would love to make it as modular as possible to potentially work with an Air1 or another air quality device or something like that. Some way to add it on to other things. But no promises. We've got to dig into it a bunch more.
But hopefully, Trevor kind of treats LANWAR as like a hackathon. So he'll have a whole table. We get him a whole table, and then he'll just, we do play games, but he's mostly doing some R&D and development work there. So we should have some pretty good updates, because last time you got Pump 1 working and a few others set up. So very excited to see.
I didn't talk about Pump 1, but definitely now that we've got Temp 1 out, Pump 1 and PA1, the parking sensor, we'd like to get both of those done. Pump 1 just needs some creative CAD skills for it, because it's difficult to mount the pump right now.
Yeah. So we have some ideas, but it's like, is it going to work for everybody? And but
yeah, so
updates on it.
Seuss said Air1 with battery. Yeah, maybe I rephrased it wrong. It's not battery powered; it's still USB powered, but the sensor actually sleeps itself, the ESP chip, and so it's not a battery powered unit, but it does have significantly less heat buildup.
I actually wonder like how it would do on a battery. Like
it would be better. It would definitely be better.
Because like I accidentally put in my standard offsets that I have for my home on my Plant 1 battery, and it woke up and it said that the temperature was like 50 degrees, and I was like, oh, okay. So it shows you how accurate it is. You don't even need offsets, because it'll give you accurate readings when it wakes up. But
so
Plant 1B is actually.
Do we say it was Simeon or Simon Security? Simon on Security.
It's like Simeon Security.
Simeon Security. Thanks for joining again. I know you were on a previous stream.
Yep. Pseudo, Ben, too. Yeah. Thanks, guys, everybody.
So any updates on the voice box? Yeah, so we did get the microphones working on the voice box. I'm not super happy with how like the voice performs, and I'm unsure if it's a limitation on like the current Home Assistant side, because there's like very specific commands that you can use on it. So we picked up a couple other voice systems that work with Home Assistant, including Home Assistant's device, to try to see how it ranks with them, if that's the performance that they have right now, or if not. You just have to be very specific in what you say to the microphone. And I don't know if that's because the microphone's having a hard time hearing, or if that's just because Home Assistant has this very specific set of voice commands that it understands right now. So yeah, microphones are working, just looking to get some comparison on that. All right. Where did I go from there?
So Team BBD, did you see this one there? It's kind of like the next one.
This one. So Pseudo Random said if the Radon sensor is standalone, an optional display would be cool. Yeah, that would definitely be neat. We're definitely seeing that use case more and more as we grow. Is people, as you're saying, people without Home Assistant or folks who like the displays options better, we're definitely taking a look at those. Team BVD emailed the possibility of a spoke and wheel Bluetooth connections with the Plant 1 to reduce Wi-Fi. Wondering if there's any way to guesstimate. It has a Bluetooth radio on it. It's definitely possible of doing Bluetooth. I'm not sure what it would take to do the Bluetooth firmware for that. I've never looked into that, and not sure if that's something that can be done through the ESP Home side, or if that has to be some totally custom firmware going to it. But not super sure about that. One other thing to look at though would be there's more and more on. I think it's the ESP Now is the one that's being worked on. The ESP devices have some meshing systems that or meshing libraries out there. There's ESP Now, there's Painless Mesh, there's maybe another one, but there's one that's being worked on as an integration into ESP Home or Home Assistant. I forget where they're putting the integration for that. And that could be another great way to mesh a bunch of the devices together that are not hooked to Wi-Fi. But yeah, if the Wi-Fi connection that they use is actually fairly low, even though they are connected devices. So, like I've had many of our Apollo devices running simultaneously on the Wi-Fi without any issue.
So Simon responded. It looks like it's Simon, but it's pronounced Simon. He probably told us that last time. We just forgot. Sorry, Simon.
Thanks.
Security. Appreciate that.
So Horst Explorer, and also I'm horrible at like reading in English stuff. Even I'm way better at science and math in school, and so reading these names on camera live is also very stressful. So if I butchered them, I apologize. So Horst Explorer, also when there's like interesting ones that are not normal names, like Horst Explorer.
Yeah.
The intents for voice are somewhat rough in cases. It'll likely improve now. Yeah, that's just what we want to see. Like, as long as you know the specific command to say to our device, the, what do we call it? The voice one? The mic one?
Speaker one.
As long as you say the specific phrase that you need, it's better. But yeah, I just want to do some comparison.
Ooh, look, Freeman saying had a battery PIR in the garage and it died, so gonna replace it with an MSR MTR. Sounds great. Love it, Freeman. All right. Were we having a sale on pocket T-shirts?
Who asked that?
Brandon did. No, Brandon, we're not having a sale on. We do sell like hats and shirts because people had asked for them, and we wear them to the workshop every day, and we think they're nice. Brandon said pocket T-shirts are for old people, but then he asked ChatGPT, and we were vindicated, and ChatGPT said that pocket tees are still in, which is good. But I think Brandon wants us to start selling DeepV next. I think that's what he wants next on the shop. Give us an idea of the interest in a DeepV Apollo shirt. Just give us a shout. But I'm not sure if it's there.
All right, so Team BVD clarified about having 50 plus plant ones connect to like a master, and then just the master connected to the Wi-Fi. Yeah, that would be like a great option for the meshing protocols I mentioned. I'm not sure exactly what all's required to do that. I know they're working a lot on getting the meshing. One of them, I think it's ESP Now, functioning with Home Assistant. So yeah, that would be great. So Simon Security you're giving us a great feedback there about making sure we have the OpenAI failover for voice commands. That would be great to try out. We'll make sure to check that out because it was getting frustrated with the commands that were allowed.
And Archer, see his question.
Yeah, Archer. Yeah. So do we have plans on having a successor to the MTR1 as better chips come out? Yeah, so we are like very much do not just want to sit on our laurels. Is that what you say? Sit and like not progress.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sit and not progress on our devices. If there's something that comes out that has great functionality, we would love to always explore it. So yeah. If there's one, we can't monitor all of the sensors coming out, so we're always open to feedback. If there's a better version of the LD2450 coming out, we would love to see it. One example is right now on our Air1 uses the Sen 55. There's now a Sen 60 layer coming out, and we should we're checking that out. We got some dev units of that. It offers just a smaller package, not really any more detail and measurements. One version does have, I think, formaldehyde measurement. So definitely Archer, if there's a better sensor out there. Same for MSR. We're happy to iterate and make sure we are offering the best and latest to users.
Yeah, the C6.
Yeah, rest on your laurels. Yeah.
Yep.
I had it
For
right.
Freeman, said that is correct. So we were not going to do that.
Also, the fear of saying something odd live on camera.
It also probably doesn't translate across the world.
Yeah.
We have sayings here in the States that no one knows about. So
yeah,
and vice versa. All right, the PLT-1B was the next thing on, like, just the updates that you had done, and like the beta firmware stuff. Like changes you made recently about the temperature, the AHT.
Oh yeah. So on PLT-1B, there are some reports, here and there of the AHT, which is the onboard temperature and humidity, showing as unknown. I think it's primarily when it gets loaded as into the ESP Home device compiler, which used to be called the ESP Home add-on. So definitely looking to get more info on that and seeing maybe where that is and how we can help mitigate it. Yeah. So if you're having that problem, stay tuned on the support channels. We're definitely looking at those.
And so on YouTube, we have a question from Louis Mendoza. He's asking, in our opinion, what are the strengths and weaknesses between the MSR2 and the Everything Presence 1?
Yeah, I think the Everything Presence 1 is using the LD2450.
No, that's the light. The Everything Presence 1 is the larger one with the PIR, and it uses, I believe, a DF Robot millimeter wave sensor.
Yeah, so we have a pretty deep comparison on some of our millimeter wave sensors online. We can post that to you, where we've done some comparisons. Just somewhat right off the bat, our size, the MSR2 is very, very tiny and very easy to hide. It doesn't have PIR, and obviously we're biased, but we did quite a bit of testing. Our original device did have PIR. That PIR isn't necessary. Like the LD2450, which is the millimeter wave, is so fast at detecting and so fast at reporting over Wi-Fi that there really didn't seem a huge benefit to have the PIR system in there. But yeah, we've got a much bigger full, make sure I send to YouTube, a full comparison for you that shows it. And we're happy to answer any other questions on it. We're super transparent and try to be as unbiased in our comparisons as we can be, because there are definitely pros and cons to sensors and our competitors. We don't try to build the same exact sensor as somebody else. We want to offer something new or more innovative where we can. People talking about formaldehyde measurements being important. Yeah, there are quite a few reasons to measure for that. Seuss says, any leak detection sensors? Nothing on the map right now, but definitely if it didn't get posted above, definitely vote for that in the future product survey. Like I was just saying on innovating, and we came across this with the plant one. I know there's a lot of leak sensors out there, and there's a lot of really cheap battery ones. Being a company that in the U.S. and that are, doing as much of our manufacturing and all of our assembly and shipping from the U.S., if there's already a million versions of a leak sensor out there on, AliExpress for a few dollars, we won't be able to compete on price for that. So we've got to figure out how we can differentiate ourselves and where we can, really make a good difference. So if there's ideas for how you would say, what would become a much better leak detection sensor, we'd love to hear it. That's what we did with the Plant 1. We said, hey, there's, everybody wants this plant sensor from us. They filled out the form, and it was one of the most highly voted systems or things. And we, said, hey, we can't make it for $5. How can we differentiate it? And that was a better battery life, better sensor quality, better longevity. And we were able to hit all of those and some more and really bring a good product. All right.
Yes, Simon Security was just saying that Lewis and for his LD2450, they made a newer tool. I believe it's open source. It should. I mean, I'm pretty sure it is. That helps you with your zones, making your zones, and with the LD2450.
Oh, similar to the app. Yep.
Yeah. So we have something similar. We have, I think it's an Apex chart or a Plotly chart that you can put on and see. Gives you a visualization of where the zones are in Home Assistant. And then you can also do something very similar, and it's very easy to do in the HLK Radar Tool app. I posted 2 wiki links in the Discord chat. So it has something similar, but the tool is really cool, and it was nice to see him come out with that and the community
awesome.
make that. So
We'll definitely check it out.
All right. That's pretty much everything on the agenda. Any other questions? Brandon, do you have anything else? Sorry, I've been looking down, but we don't have a big enough table for my laptop to be up here. So, any last questions? Again, Louis was just saying thanks for your response. Of course, that's why we're here. Like I said, we're not experts. We just, we're still learning, and we just want to offer fun, good products.
Yeah. So you may just be looking out for Temp 1's actual release will be coming up here very soon. We've got the food safe probes, we've got the fridge probes, fridge, fish tank, pool, hot tub probe, whatever you want to use it for. And then hopefully parking will be entering into a beta, and hopefully Pump 1, if we can get that design figured out, Pump 1 can enter into the beta as well. Those are the next things coming up, and then Radon will follow that probably.
Oh, Simon said he had a question about the Temp 1 that we missed earlier. Would it work in a high temp application?
Yeah, so So Temp 1 will have 2 probe types. One probe is a flat cable waterproof probe, and that one was great for, like I said, freezers, fish tanks, pools, hot tubs, dog water bowls, like whatever you want to measure temperature.
It will do negative 55 degrees Celsius to 125 degrees Celsius with accuracy rate of plus or minus 0.5.
But the actual cable might not do that. I don't think you can do the full range.
But
we can tell you the full range.
Yeah.
But then it'll have a second probe type as an add-on that you could have, which is a stainless steel probe with a stainless steel cable, and that for sure will work in your grill on high temperature applications. It's rated for very, very high temp. And it's got a flexible, it's like an audio jack,
3.5 millimeter audio jack. Yep.
That will allow us to add maybe a different probe types in the future, but yeah, definitely will work with that.
I posted the data sheet for the Dallas probe, but it looks like most people are familiar with it. It's a pretty common probe.
Yeah, Team BVD, thanks for the nice message. Yeah, we appreciate that.
Yep. And Seuss is just asking, do we need more beta testers? We're always looking for people to help test. For the Temp 1, we kind of already did a beta test. So I guess the new ones will be...
Yeah, we won't need a beta test for those. We've had those units out for months. But yeah, as we go forward with pump and radon and things like that, we're always looking for dedicated people that can give us good feedback.
Yeah, usually just follow along on Discord, and we usually post about it, and we'll put a call out. So yeah, just keep an eye out, and but like I said, it'll probably be a little bit, but we're always looking for people, always looking for help. I appreciate that.
All right. Anything else before we sign off? We appreciate you guys changing the time so quickly for us.
Yeah, sorry about that.
We should have said at the beginning. Normally we do these later in the evenings, but yeah, we appreciate changing the time. We're itching to go to the NVIDIA announcement later today.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one of the main things going on today at CES. And then meeting up with the Home Assistant crew sometime this week. So
Yep.
very, very excited.
And Homey and creators, very excited to meet a lot of you. And again, if you're here in CES in Las Vegas, shoot us a message. We're just normal, just real people that if you want to meet and hang out, we're open to it. Also, if you're going to be in Louisville at LANWAR, come game and come hang out. We'll meet you there.
All right, that's what we got. That's a wrap. Okay. We're always available, so if you guys think of a question later in the day, just post it into general or something, and we'll make sure it gets answered.
Yeah.
So.
And we still have Brandon, doing support while we're in Las Vegas this week. We may be a little slower to respond, but we'll do our best as we usually try to do.
Yep. All right. Thank you, guys.
All right. Thanks,
We'll see ya.
guys. Be careful.